going live. we wrapped up right on time. I want to continue it after. And it will become clear what it was about maybe at the beginning of the game. Anyway, I'm Jen. Hello, everybody. I hope you heard the introduction around the charity that we are fundraising for, the Alzheimer's Association. And let's go around, and I'm Jen. I don't know if I said that. I'm your nervous GM. Let's go around the circle and say who you are, who you're playing, and what's on your character's mind right at this moment. Ray, you can go last.
I'll go first. I'm still unmuted. Hi, hello. I am Eva. I use she, her pronouns. And today I am playing Gwen, your crocheting mystery murder maven who uses she, they pronouns. I think what is probably going through her head right now is that she's really glad they didn't fly to the event because she's not sure how we're going to explain everything that has ended up in our bags.
That's real good. That's real good. I like that. Yeah, I'm Pablo. I'm playing Ladi, and Ladi is definitely like thinking about the texture of the chicken that she wielded as a weapon. I don't remember if we said it was like a drumstick or something, or it was definitely an
Drumstick,
awkwardly
but if we
wielded
didn't,
weapon.
it should be a drumstick. If we did not say so, it needs to be a drumstick.
Yeah, and she's already kind of like wiped her hands on her skirt, but like it's still there kind of, and it's gonna be like an open parentheses until she like washes her hands proper.
I mean, that totally makes sense because it was the fact that the chicken was seasoned with like honey and shit that made it poisonous apparently. So your hands, filthy, absolutely filthy.
Yep.
All right, so I'm Evie, she, her. I am playing Rose, also she, her. Rose, who I think might be the oldest in the group, she's 72, has just gotten done being choked and is like, I was choking really bad. But it was a heart attack choking? I felt being squeezed. Am I having a medical emergency? I don't really know what's going on. Because there was a lot of supernatural shit, and she's been very good at sort of self-explaining it away. So that's what's in her head right now, are ways to like self-explain away the experience she just had.
And how's Hazel doing?
Oh man, so Hazel, all last episode, was on a drug trip. She got very overwhelmed by everything, and tried to get everyone to take mushrooms from her mushroom guy with her in an attempt to like get everyone to chill out, maybe get some clarity. No one wanted to do that with her. So she had this kind of lonely, sort of isolating moment. That we also had like a little bit of a, maybe Hazel has a little bit of a drug problem moment. She decided to take the mushroom. She decided to take the mushrooms on her own, and is now just like lying on a couch we're in Melvin's.
You're in Melvin's. You're
okay.
lying on a bunk in Melvin's room.
Cool. Yeah, Melvin is the mushroom guy, lying on one of his bunks, just staring at, like, I'm assuming she's gonna be on bottom bunk, like staring up at the top bunk that's got some really old quilt pattern on it that she's kind of just letting her eyes gaze into eternity
right now.
Yeah, she's just overwhelmed, and so she's trying to calm her brain down by taking substances. That's her choice.
Yeah, it might backfire. We'll see. Let's do a quick recap, and as usual, I am going to decline to run the recap lest I give clues unintentionally, but I will fill in blanks if I feel that they are important to be filled in. Who would like to we can popcorn it too. Who wants to start? Oh, that smile on your face.
I can't. I wasn't here.
You are off the hook. You are in fact off the hook.
I don't know, a third, fourth hand version of what happened almost a month ago sounds like a good idea to me.
It'd be fun.
I mean, the order of events is just gone. It's just gone from my brain.
Just
Okay.
say what events happened. They don't have to.
Let's
say them in
start.
order.
Sure. I feel like a good starting place might be, Rose, you put murder evidence in your purse. That murder
I've done
evidence
that multiple times. You're gonna have to be more specific.
on this occasion where you put murder evidence in your purse, it was an entire entree.
It was the whole chicken.
Uh-huh.
It was like one of those little chicken birds.
We should have called this episode "The Whole Chicken." I missed out on an opportunity. Anyway,
You can always rename it.
rename it when it's done. Rename it. Okay.
So, I mean, we managed to get evidence that this was what was like poisoning people and making people kind of hallucinate. That was about right?
Lowering
Yeah.
blood pressure and causing hallucinations.
Yeah.
Lowering blood
So in the previous episode, going to the nurse's station, Hazel and Gwen had found out that the thing on the previous evidence that Rose has stolen, which was the lanyard, was covered in nitroglycerin, and the nitroglycerin was making people's heart blood pressure and stuff drop and thus die. And so on the most previous episode, Rose had been in the kitchen and there had been like argumenting, and Rose had gotten the information that some select things in the kitchen were being off limits and taken for special use, and amongst them were like spices and honey and whatnot, and that some of it had been used to make the chicken, I guess, was part of, like, I think it was the honey was in the chicken.
You zeroed in that the honey had been used.
Yeah. Which also ended up being in the corn bread.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said corn muffins. That was wrong. And the cornbread.
I was gonna fill in field when you said corn. So.
But yes, so Rose had kind of begun to like narrow in on, okay, it's the chicken. The chicken made her sick. I'm gonna grab this chicken because it's evidence and we need to know what's up with it. I'm just gonna put it in my purse. Then I left to go find help.
Yeah.
And I think you were the one who heard Brandon in an argument. No, you left to get a phone. You left to find a phone that worked.
I overheard Brandon.
You overheard the argument, yeah.
Yeah. I went to try and find the office so that I could call 911 because nobody's cell phone was working. And so I went to try and find a landline because that makes the most sense to me. And I was separated from the group quite frequently until we ended up back in the nurse's office together, at which point I immediately left again. You know, when you're the BBEG, you gotta make sure that you're, got distance from everyone.
Yeah, keep them on their toes.
I wish now that I had also picked someone to be the BBEG and like just have that be a reveal team. That would be a stressful thing to play though.
A little bit, depending.
Yeah. I promise y'all that is not the answer.
We would have assumed it was Evie.
I mean,
even if
like,
it wasn't her.
The thing is, as a player, I have a history of colluding with the DM. That is a thing I do in a lot of the games I play. I have, in this game, been acquiring and stealing the evidence.
That's true. That's true.
The evidence.
That is very suspicious.
And I have been busybody in the background, away from the group. Most of the time, shit's been going down.
That you should be. It should be you.
It's not too late. You can still turn to a life of crime.
But also, like, the biggest red herring, though, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Unless.
Because you've got all the neon sign. Yeah, the double bluff?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just going to say words and.
That's true. If this were like a Poirot mystery or something, like, you would be arrested at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just checking because I wasn't here last session. No one canonically actually suspects Rose, right? Am I okay?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I'm just making sure
No one
that
has
it's an
expressed-
out-of-game
I think.
suspicion,
Yeah.
not an in-game suspicion.
No one has
because I'd be
expressed
cool with either. I just
suspicion.
want to. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And I mean, y'all know each other.
That I
That makes
figured.
sense, right? Like,
Just
Rose
wanted
isn't
to,
a
because when you lay it
stranger.
all out like that, it is a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I mean, some of you have backgrounds that are a little suspicious too. I just have to say.
Mhm.
I mean, I am on my third husband.
Yep. Ooh. Oh my gosh.
You picked the GM's Bane background.
So, I can't recall. You ended up looking for a landline, and that's how you ended up confronting Evelyn.
I ended up separated from the group because, so at the start of session, Susie was having an episode with me and Matthew? No.
Brandon.
What's the guy's name?
Brandon. Is it Brandon or Brandon?
Nope. Drug boy.
Oh,
Mushroom.
Melvin.
Melvin.
Which I will never forget because I drew a mushroom next to Melvin's name.
Yes. So Melvin was with me and Susie when Susie was having her episode. Separately, Gwen saw Linda at the barbecue end up having an episode, at which point Ladi and shit, I just blanked.
Rose? Oh, not Rose. Gwen, yeah.
Yeah.
For the voicemail?
Got back together at the barbecue, and there was a lot more stuff also going on about, like, Gwen overheard in the office some information of stuff with the Brandon, whoever guy.
Brandon.
Yes.
I found it.
I'm not great with
watching
names. I'm sorry.
Dimension 20, so now, like, Brennan
Yeah.
is...
Yep. I'm sorry. I'm not great with names either. And so that group took Linda to the hospital while Rose ran to the nurse to find someone. I think Rose got there at about the same time. Shortly after they showed up with Linda, Rose found out Linda was also affected. And that's what was like the last straw for Rose, is like, nobody's getting 911 here. 2 of my friends are down. I'm going and finding a landline. And so she split. The rest of the group is like doing sleuthing and figuring out some of the clues. I'd passed off the chicken at that point.
The whole chicken. And
so
also
that people could look at it and like figure it out. I yelled at a poor like 19-year-old pre-med student
who turned out to be Evelyn's
daughter. Yep.
And you were able to like get her to break a little bit and send her to go hide with the groundskeeper.
Yeah,
and she kind of informed us stuff, right?
Yeah, she basically informed us that like we should be scared of Evelyn, which I suppose we sort of knew, but not like this. Not confirmed by her daughter. No way. And
it was great because as that group was like finding out, oh no, you should be scared of Evelyn. Rose is in an office and turns around, Evelyn's in the doorway, and Rose is like, I can't get a hold of 911. Evelyn's like, we don't want them here. We don't want you here. Ah. And then there was magic.
Yeah, and then magic. And also, I believe when you heard a confrontation between Evelyn and Brandon, and
yes,
Brandon is nowhere to be found subsequent to that.
That's right, he disappeared.
Yeah.
And I think it was the very end of the session before. Did I ever recount that to everyone?
I don't think you did, and I also don't think you've shared what was on your phone.
Okay,
I don't know about
that's what I
was
was
on the phone,
going
but
to.
I think you did mention Evelyn was having an argument with Brandon briefly with the like when we all kind of like gathered back up at the nursing office.
Yeah.
And like the chicken exchange happened, and I yelled at a child.
And I think I can be forgiven for the security guard thing with all the chicken swapping going on, which back in my day meant something different. But you know, you do you. Yes. So, okay. So, but I also haven't, I'm still talking to Jen because I believe, they still have headphones on. I don't think we've seen the security guard since either. Jen did not have their headphones on. So,
sorry.
You're good. This is why eyewitness testimony is unreliable and should not be the basis for anything. And join us next time for our takedown of the criminal justice system.
Hell yeah.
Yes, we did not see the security guard in question from my tape last session, though, right? While we've been wandering around.
I mean, he's been around, like before, but you haven't seen him since. No.
Okay.
No, you have not seen him since. In fact, like he was like a private security firm security guard. Like he didn't have like Concord
Oh.
branding or anything like that.
Fancy.
And like other than other than the cook, you haven't really seen anybody who's not Concord staff anymore. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you've seen the
Yeah.
working, any person working who's not Concord staff. You've seen the attendees of the con, who are in the middle of having their own little episodes in the cafeteria.
Yes,
yeah.
we've gone back and they were starting to collapse.
I'm going to say
and-
this because, I mean, I know this is sort of like ADHD the table, and I love everyone. I, Eva, desperately don't want to forget to have Gwen mention the security guard thing, so just...
I won't let you.
Thank you. Like, just in the
I won't
next,
let you.
like, half hour before, like, any of us die would be great.
I won't let you. It
Thank
was
you.
in a plan in my head to make sure that it got mentioned.
Yeah.
No worries. A lot happened. and honestly, if I were Gwen, I would have forgotten it.
Yeah, yeah.
Having like
it was
lived
lower
through it.
priority, and, like, we had the whole, everything else. Are we doing our advancements?
Yes. Okay. So check your character sheet and see what you checked for this session, and give yourself experience points if you did the thing that you checked. That was very vague. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the thing is the technical term.
No.
in the manual.
Yeah. I don't remember her name, Evie, but when we were in grad school together, I remember I had a professor who, like, one of her pet peeves was not letting any of her students say thing or stuff when, like, in a work context, and was just like a fucking hard ass about it. And like that like sits in the back of my brain and like tells me to cut the shit out every once in a while.
I feel like I heard about that professor. I don't think I experienced them, but I feel like I heard about that professor.
You know what?
I don't know who it is either.
Part of me is like, it's wonderful to not be vague. That's so great. The part of me that has like mild aphasia is like, oh, fuck that.
I have to be specific in describing who a person is because I am very vague on what names are.
Yeah, same.
So
same.
they complement.
Yeah. All right. Who's getting experience points or making arguments for?
So I am getting 2 because I showed someone that I still got it through violence, and I behaved like a woman half my age through violence. So 2 for 1.
Awesome.
Oh, by the way, for plot summary stuff, I got a spooky voicemail. I got a spooky voicemail saying a cult was happening, and then
You
Evelyn.
heard shit.
Yeah, in the voicemail. And then we confronted Evelyn, who had paralyzed, I want to say it was Rose, with magic.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rose was stupidly soloing Evelyn for like a round and getting constricted by snake magic.
Yeah, and that's, that's where the that's where the chicken drumstick to the face came in.
Yeah, didn't I name it? Because my move MacGyver, I think I named the chicken drumstick to give people
Yes.
advantage to use
Yes.
it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Use your ability.
Yeah.
Okay. Next person. Questions.
So I doted on someone. It's like so many people. It's what I do. And then I had marked that I shared the memory of a late family member, and I don't think I actually really did. Like I mentioned them because I was going to, and then the scene shifted away, and I didn't get that.
I think that counts.
so.
I got points for just saying that I talked to my husband's ghost.
I mean, I'm fine being a little bit, not loosey-goosey, but a little forgiving about these because we've got like one more, episode. I think it would be great to be able to advance if you can. So go ahead and take it.
All right.
Alrighty. And Gwen?
My problem is I feel like most of my potential advancement things always happen in the infirmary area, and we've been there in different sessions. So my memory is like fixed on this location, but it's a little fuzzy.
I can help.
So I'm pretty sure I doted on someone on the way there, like after we found the honey.
Probably
Yes,
Linda.
Linda.
It was
Yeah.
Linda, yes. I was like, I know it wasn't one of us. Yes, Linda. And I felt like I brought up my late husband when we were there. And Ray, I believe we forgot to mention that we did sort of bully a high school student. That feels sort of
Undergrad.
important.
Is
Undergrad.
this
Undergrad,
different than the
excuse me.
teenager that Rose yelled at? Different?
No,
No,
same.
this is
Same.
them.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, this
okay.
is the pre-med undergrad, like
Got it.
19-year-old, whatever age, who I kept calling like a kid.
That's
'cause
right, yeah.
Got
I'm
it.
72,
I mean,
they're a
honestly,
kid.
I call 19-year-olds kids.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So, maybe 2 for 1. I can't, it would have been like a
I'd take
light,
it.
like,
I'd take it. I'd
Okay.
take it. Like I said, like let's the maximum chance to do another advancement
Yeah.
before we're. Those on the stream, watching the stream, Pablo just messaged me, Jen, you'd call 40-year-olds kids, and that's not entirely untrue. I had a whole group of friends over who are mostly in their 30s, and that definitely happened a couple times.
So funny.
I am old in my heart.
Mhm.
Not necessarily my behavior, but in my heart. All right, so I want to move over to Hazel. Don't forget to check questions or check conditions that are important for you this session. Hazel, what do you start to see as this psychedelic starts to kick in and you are lying on Melvin's bunk?
So Hazel is kind of staring into the void of the bunk above her. And she has a mushroom guide. She clearly, like, she is to the point, she takes enough drugs to the points where she has, like, she's buddies with the guy who gives her mushrooms. This is like not the first time she's done mushrooms. And normally it's a relatively calming, kind of a good perspective gaining experience. She'll sometimes see some visions. They'll give her, you know, she'll interpret them in some good mushy gushy ways, and it'll make her feel better about her real life. And that's what she kind of goes into this thinking. But she can't like push out that feeling of loneliness that she had like right before she took the mushrooms, because everyone kind of left her. She thought in her own weird, quirky Hazel way that this was like, everyone was going to do this together and it was going to make everyone feel better. And for everyone else's very legitimate reasons, they did not want to do that. But nonetheless, it made Hazel feel quite lonely. And she starts to envision like a very foggy scene, and it slowly materializes as Archie, her husband's funeral. It starts to like, it's obviously in flashes and waves, but that's the coherent vision that she's seeing. And, you know, she has her 2 daughters there, and there's family and friends who are all like asking her what happened. And for those of you who don't know, we don't really know how Archie, her husband, died. It was a mystery that kind of never got solved, and that's always kind of sat weird with Hazel.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Hazel's
Is that why Hazel loves mysteries?
ooh. Yeah, I mean, I think she kind of always had an underlying interest in them. But yeah, I think that absolutely would make sense.
Because they get solved.
Yeah, it's open and shut. There's a beginning and an end. And although like Archie dying was, you know, she kind of was able to reinvent herself, still very weird circumstances. And so Hazel is dressed like very prim and proper. So for those of you who know Hazel now, she's like overalls and her tie-dye t-shirt. Here she is like in her little kitten heels. She's got her pencil skirt. She's got like curls in her hair, the whole done up thing. She's got a little flask of like wine in her pocket. And she's sort of stumbling up to Archie's coffin or casket, whatever you call it. And she looks down over it. And Archie's body, where what Archie's body would be, is actually now Maddie's body. And she starts to like panic during this trip and starts to kind of look up at the sky to try to get calming, cool colors. And she kind of just is trying to control her feelings, because that's something that Hazel struggles with. is not being in control of the situation. This is not how this normally goes for her. And so she kind of just falls back and lays down on the grass during this funeral and tries to look up at the sky and reorient herself. And I don't know, Jen, you tell me if that works or not.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. What questions stick out the most to Hazel right now about Maddie's death?
She wants to know why. Not necessarily what happened, but why it happened. Because Maddie, I've over the last couple sessions have kind of canonically decided that her and Maddie were quite close. And so, I mean, like the closest of the entire group. And so it's really not sitting right with her. And how sudden and strange the whole thing is. And so, again, she's used to having questions not answered in her real life. So she's not necessarily looking for what happened, but why? Like, what was there a reason for it? Or was it just like senseless confusion?
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to make a roll with sensitive, is that what it's called? Blah, 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 sensitivity. That's how you decline that.
Okay, I have a -1 to that stat.
We're making an occult move right now.
Okay. That is a 5.
Okay. Would you like to use a Gold Crown's mystery move or any of the +1s?
Yeah, we have a
new
+1
advantage to everybody. We also each have a new advantage.
Yep.
Would
so
you
the
like to use
advantage,
that?
you roll another d6 and take the top 2. +1's probably not super helpful because you're at a 5.
Yeah, you'd have to use both.
Well, I don't want to use up all our advantages. Can we?
I mean, we've
consult
had those,
a little bit?
We've had those for a minute, and we're getting close to the end.
Okay, so
Yeah. I would
So-
say use a bunch of stuff.
Just use them.
Gold
Cool.
Crown is an automatic success, so like it's up to you.
okay, I rolled a 5, so let's use that automatic success then, if I can.
So what you need to do then, because the way that this works is this reminds me of something that happened to Amanda Delacourt,
Got it.
right? So what
Does she do
about-
drugs?
You get to
Does she-
decide.
Cool, great.
Does she show up in your vision?
Oh, that's so much better.
I
Is
mean,
that allowed?
Those could both be true. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, yeah. So this reminds me of that time Amanda Delacourt was trying to solve an occult mystery, and she was really struggling to find an answer, and she found this strange substance in like the occult basement, right? And she used all of her alchemical knowledge on it, couldn't figure it out. She called upon some colleagues of her that she works with, and no one could figure out what this is. So eventually, in desperation, she like ingests this material because she has reason to believe that the cult members have been ingesting whatever this is, and that's been crucial to the cult. So she ingests it, and it takes her into this magical, hypnotic, hallucinogenic place. And as Hazel is laying on her back, trying to look up at the sky, trying to ground herself, Amanda Delacourt can kind of descend from heaven into Hazel's trip.
Oh my gosh, as like almost like the ghost of Christmas present
Yeah.
to like accompany you on this trip. Okay. So
Yeah.
Amanda Delacourt lands next to you. And you know how you've always imagined Amanda Delacourt. You've
Get a description of her finally. I'm so excited.
Yes. So Amanda Delacourt, dressed in like, wears Crocs in your head because you love Crocs.
I
So the
do
first
love
thing you
Crocs.
see are Amanda Delacourt's Crocs.
Hell
and
yeah.
then you
Fashion
see-
icon.
Yes. And then you see like, you know those like old lady pants that they're
Oh, yeah.
not really made out of like khaki, but they're not really made out of denim, and they're like somewhere in the middle.
Yes, absolutely.
She has those, but they're like perfectly fitted and might be pressed, and they look great on her.
Amazing.
She's got this floral blouse that flows out of it that like is a nice fabric, but like has like a hippie cut to it. So she's kind of got that ability, depending on how she accessorizes it, to look like church lady or like cool aunt. You know what I mean? Like she's got kind of both options. And she has dark skin, features that, you know, she may be Hapa. She kind of has that look and dark hair. And the hair has like streaks of white in it. And she looks down at you and she says, "Look at that." And you look at her Crocs and you start to see widgets in the Crocs. And
This makes me so happy, Jen.
I wrote notes.
Magical widgets.
I have under your entry, like, where do I have it? Croc widgets, like
Yes.
So
Thank you, Jen.
the first thing you see, of course, is a mushroom.
Yeah.
You know, a mushroom.
Of course.
Widget, like a magical mushroom, like 1960s widget.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Crocs are like a nice sky blue. They like reflect the sky
Oh.
that it's from.
Amazing.
You see like a little like decal symbol that is printed on the front of the hardcover editions of the Gold Crown Mysteries. That is like a
Cute.
stylized gold crown. You see a snake, like a widget of a snake, like curled up, and like moving, like flowing,
Okay.
right? And then you also see this logo, like a, what is it when there's 6 sides?
Hexagon.
Hexagon.
Yeah.
With like a triangle in it. And like it's blue, like a bright blue and a bright green. And because you were close enough to Maddie, you know that that is the logo of the senior living home that Maddie stays in.
Okay.
And as you look really close at it, you feel yourself becoming narrow and narrower and narrower and narrower until you yourself flow through the middle of that widget, and find yourself standing in the common room at the lobby in this home. Have you ever actually visited Maddie, or is it going to look like the home in your own mind?
I would say I would have visited Maddie.
So you recognize it.
Okay.
And you see a couple of people sitting at a table, sort of talking to each other. And you recognize these as some of Maddie's friends. And Amanda Delacourt is standing there looking at them and looking at you and looking at them and looking at you.
Can I talk in this dream? I say that out loud.
A couple of people kind of look at you weird. They're like sitting in the big cushy chairs that are kind of, you know, were clearly all bought in some place for institutions, but have been sat so many times and have like little embroidered pillows that they kind of look homey, even though they're institutionalized. Kind of, not the people institutionalized, the furniture. So yeah, a couple of people look at you funny, which gives you the distinct impression that you can indeed talk.
Cool. Great. Amanda?
She looks at you and looks at the table.
You want me? Oh, okay. Got it.
You got
it. Hazel, still in her like funeral outfit, clip clops, over to the pair of friends. Excuse me. Do you mind if I sit?
I want you to make. I'm gonna have you make a move here. I want you to make a meddling move.
Make a move.
This is as literally meddling as I feel like you could be in your own drug trip. So that would be rolling. You can roll with reason, or I feel like you could roll with presence.
Okay. I'll roll with presence. So +1 for me. Oh my god, I'm rolling like shit. That's a 6.
They give you a little bit of a hostile look.
Okay.
Not like a, just like a, we're talking about private things.
Hazel reaches into her bag and pulls out the aforementioned flask of wine that she brought to her husband's funeral.
Nice.
And sets it down on the table and grabs a chair and sits down anyways.
Okay. So I will give you a +1 for the bottle of wine because I just think that's too cute. They sort of nod at you.
Okay.
And they continue their conversation in the way that wouldn't make any sense in real life. And you quickly figure out that what they're whispering about is that they have discovered one of the security guards at the home is embezzling money.
Okay.
And they're about to report their findings to the authorities. And Maddie's excited. Maddie's like brimming with excitement. This is one of her mystery groups. This is a detective group of Maddie's that she's bragged about before, and they have scored an answer.
I don't know how to say this, but I think at my home I might have a similar situation of security guards being in on something. Do you know why this man's embezzling, what he's embezzling for?
I will say that Hazel probably doesn't know that because Hazel hasn't talked to Gwen.
Hazel hasn't been there.
Right.
Okay.
But you can ask, like, what is he embezzling for?
Sure.
And I
Sure.
think they said, we don't really know. We think maybe it's like, well, his daughter goes to a very expensive private school that
Well,
probably on his wages he's not paying
okay.
for. Yeah. And Maddie looks at you and goes, we also think that it's a group job, that there's a conspiracy here, but we don't have proof for that. We just have proof for this one guy.
What do we think what do you think the bigger conspiracy is?
The whole company.
What company is it? Do you know the name?
Gosh, now I have to come up with a security name.
Sorry.
No, it's good. I should have come up with it already. Wholesome Safety Security Company.
Incredible.
Their advertising is that they have like the kindest, sweetest security guards.
Well, Maddie, how do you think all this is being kept secret? How has this not gone out if it's a whole company?
And Maddie looks at you, and this is the complication of having that middle success.
Mm-hmm.
Am I okay? Hazel, am I okay?
Not, yes, you're fine. You're fine. I'm not okay. I just want to figure out what's going on.
You're looking
You're
at me
okay.
funny. You're looking at me funny.
I'm sorry. It's, I just came from the funeral. Look at me. It's been a long day.
Whose funeral?
My husband, Archie. You're not. I mean, listen, you've never had memory issues before, Maddie?
Well, you already went to that funeral. You already went to that funeral.
Oh, shit. Okay. Maddie, I'm going to level with you. You're not okay. I need you to answer this question for me, though. Okay? Please?
Yeah.
Is there something I need to know?
I want you to make an occult move.
Okie doke, how do I do
Because
that?
at this point, what you're doing is you're seeing if your trip can give you information that would not come from within your own mind.
Okay.
Roll with sensitivity.
Sensitivity. Okay. Oh no. Oh my god, my rolls have been so bad. That's a 4. Do I die?
You do not die.
Okay. Do I come close?
Well, first of all, what it means is that no one else can use a drug trip in order to get like really good information.
Well,
it was worth a shot, guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
we have the re-roll. If one of your die numbers is pretty good, then re-roll the other one.
What 2 did you get? What 2 numbers did you get?
I got a 3 and a 2, and I have a -1 to sensitivity.
3's not bad.
It's not
If you
bad.
roll-
Re-roll the 2 to a 9 or an 8. You can stay in the -1 range, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to roll a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
How many
my
rerolls
my
do you
head
have?
did the math, and
You're all good.
Yeah, roll a 9 on a d6. Do that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I knew what you meant. I knew where you were
Yes.
going.
How many rerolls do we have again? I don't want to blow through all of our
4.
advantages. 4?
I won't let you do Gold Crown Mysteries again.
No,
in the
that's
same
totally
scene,
fair.
But
Totally fair.
absolutely the advantage you could use.
Please feel free.
I think it's
like,
worth
I'll,
it. I think
I'll
it's
give it a
worth
shot. I'll do one reroll and then we'll live with our decisions after that. Okay, that was a 4, so it's a total, if you factor in the -1, that's still 6.
So
Now-
unless you want to also use a +1.
I was about to say there are
God.
2 +1s, and the +1s do not get used nearly as often because rolling to be on the cusp for a +1 to be critically useful is
Yeah.
much rarer. So we've held on to those +1s for a while.
Smart. Ooh, that's smart.
God.
That's smart.
Hazel feels very needy right now, but yeah, sure,
it.
I'll use a
You're
+1.
gonna
Make
get
it an
us
8.
something good.
And you missed
Okay.
a whole session of being able to gain
Exactly.
secrets, so to gain clues. So
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, I'll use the +1. Let's try to get something out of this.
okay. You get a vision that's sort of like like the buzzing sort of flashing thing that you get when you're watching something and reception like a TV
Mhm.
channel, and reception messes up and a new channel comes in, right?
Yeah.
And they're like overlapping each other for a little bit. But you get that, and you see Maddie turn into Amanda, turn into Maddie, turn into Amanda, turn into Maddie, turn into Amanda, turn into Maddie, as if there's an exchange happening. But you
Mhm.
also see 2 dark figures standing behind her as this happens. And the impression that you get is that one is a target of one dark figure and the other is the target of a different dark figure. And as you're having that realization, we're going to move to the rest of the group
But,
for a minute.
but okay. But Amanda's not. Oh, so okay. All right. Okay.
So I believe what's happening right now is that Evelyn is unconscious, sitting on the floor, and the rest of
He's
you are
been
standing
chicken
around,
boned.
having been brained by a chicken bone, in fact. And the rest of you are standing around, perhaps one of you having an existential crisis. What are y'all doing?
we were able to call out and 911 was like, good luck, or we just
You did not get 911.
The very, very last thing that happened was the phone rang.
right.
Ladi picked it up. Customer support. How may I help you? Whatever. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly what Ladi said,
Yeah.
but it was something sassy. The Jennifer was like, "Tell me what's going on." Ladi was like, "You've got the wrong number" or some bullshit.
Right.
And Jennifer goes, "Okay,
Jessica.
I'm on my way."
Jessica, but yes.
Jessica, sorry. Yeah. See, I told you
And
that.
it was very clear that Jessica could tell that that was not
Yeah.
Yeah.
who was supposed to.
Okay, so help isn't coming.
The opposite of help.
Should we stuff her in a closet? What do we want to do with her?
I mean, we're not gonna put our head on spike. Like, probably hiding the evidence is a good idea, I guess.
I think she poisoned me. I've been having some trouble breathing.
Oh my gosh, are you okay? Do you want to sit down?
I do.
Please.
Rose is so good at rationalization. That's the perfect one. That makes so much sense.
There's poison going around. I think I encountered it. I have so much trouble breathing for a minute there. I was like hyperventilating, but not the opposite way, like not being able to breathe.
Okay, one thing at a time.
I think that Ladi also helps her sit. We kind of dote on her for a little bit.
Yeah.
So as you help Rose sit, you hear like a rumbling coming from Evelyn's stomach, and unconscious still, not opening her eyes or giving any indication that she's coming to, she burps, and it's a foul-smelling burp. Like,
I might be having a stroke. I'm smelling really terrible things. Can somebody do a medical check on me? Heart attacks don't appear the same in females. So this might be what this is. I need someone to do my pulse.
I don't
good
think you're the
PSA,
only
good
one.
PSA.
Yeah. Gwen. Can you have a group stroke? Is that a thing? Because I smell it too.
Oh God.
Oh
I look around for some rope to try and restrain her before she wakes up.
All right. You could make a meddling move, or you could make a night move for that.
Okay. Let me look at my stats real quick. Which stats do each of them use?
Whatever one's their
Yeah, the night move is whatever makes sense to you. I think would be reason. And meddling move is also reason. So roll with reason.
Okay. My dice are down here. All right, so it's a +1. That's a 9.
All right. And are you doing night move or meddling move?
Let's do night move. This feels like night move.
Yeah, it definitely does. So you do find rope. You are able to find rope. And I mean, that makes sense. This is a summer camp. So you're able to find rope that's used for tying. But your back is turned when this other thing happens. And what Rose and Gwen, you both see, is you see Evelyn's mouth fall open, and it falls open too far. And farther than a mouth really should be able to open. And another burp comes up, and out of her throat and her mouth spits up broken glasses that Gwen you recognize as having been on Brandon's face.
Oh, no.
It smells so bad too. I mean, it smells bad.
Wait, that was almost me? Because you had said something about with somebody being consumed. She was gonna eat me.
Gwen's just gonna move right past that and better out than in. Okay, are we done with her? We should regroup. We should find Hazel. We should probably not be here if someone's going to be looking for Evelyn here.
Is there a closet I can stuff her in?
Yeah, it's the same closet you found the rope in.
Cool.
There's like a closet in this office with like a whole bunch of like gear and sports equipment and things like that. Like you get the impression that they moved, like the director's office is there with all the gear so that kids won't go in and just get the gear whenever they want.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I like put a chair up against the doorknob just in case she manages to like try and then I open a window because it smells bad, and then I think twice about it and I close it. And then I'm still like, wait, which one's worse? The possibility of her getting found or how bad this smells? What if someone figures it out because of the smell? And I'm like, just like muttering this out loud to myself.
And you see Brandon's glasses on the ground. You don't know Brandon, so you probably don't recognize them, but you see glasses on the ground that are broken.
I pick them up, and I'm
Are
like,
you putting them in your purse? Sorry.
did she eat these?
I don't know where
Does
else they would have come from, but they're not hers.
You know, I've heard of this. It's a medical condition called
There was
pica,
that
where
show,
you eat
yeah.
things that are not food.
Couch cushions.
Put it in my purse.
I turn around and I'm just like,
Of course
Rose,
you do.
Rose, there isn't a normal and natural explanation for what's happening here. You know that, right?
No, pica's real.
You understand it wasn't just the glasses, right?
No, that's what came out.
Right, but a lot of stuff that's been happening, it's beyond the realm of natural, like above kind of
Yeah, it's poison.
supernatural.
A lot of poison.
I don't think it's a lot of poison. I just want you to think about that before this gets worse.
Okay.
Let's regroup. I don't like how long we've left Hazel alone.
Does Rose hear what Lady is saying and kind of get it and know on the inside, or is Rose fully convinced still?
I think at this point, Rose is in that, like, I've closed my eyes and I'm telling the monster in front of me that it's not real.
Yeah.
Because it's scary to look at. So I've closed my eyes. Because I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I think that's where Rose is right now. Is like, I'm just gonna say it's not real. Because I don't know what else to do about this.
That's what I would do.
I can only imagine that Sylvie is just absolutely disgusted with this whole concept. I do gotta ask, Rose, what are you going to do with those glasses?
I don't know.
Okay.
They were on the floor. I don't want to leave them littering the floor.
Okay. That's
I don't know. Probably throw them away.
There's a little trash can probably. It's an office.
Somewhere. Yeah. Try and find a trash can.
Okay.
There's a little waste bin under the desk.
Or, oh, you know that DNA thing? That DNA thing? Because she's doing bad stuff, right? So maybe we hold on to them in case the cops need that DNA thing.
Yeah, I worry that the smell is just gonna haunt us.
Oh. Pull them out of my purse. Do the glasses smell?
A little bit, yeah.
Good point. I'm gonna throw them away.
Okay. All right. Let's go find Hazel.
Yeah, we could. Let's go find Hazel.
Yeah.
As you walk out of the lodge, leaving the smell and the glasses behind, and fortunately, as you open your purse, like I will say, because I'm merciful, that the smell dissipates out of your purse and you're not carrying that smell around with you forever.
There's a lot of other smells to crowd it out too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
That's true. The smell of honey chicken just like overwhelms it anyway.
There's a can of menthol in there, that little like Vicks Vapor Rub menthol stuff. Yeah,
There you
so
go.
much stuff.
There you go. As you're walking out of the lodge, Gwen, you notice like something pings in your head as you walk past the location where you passed that security guard on your way into the conference to begin with. And it reminds you of what you saw on your phone.
Oh, hey, so I know we're headed back, but could one of you maybe take a look at this and tell me if you think it's weird too? 'Cause I know everyone kind of reacts to things differently and stuff, as is evidenced by our small group kind of just reacting about as opposite as possible to every given situation. And she's going to...
He's side-eyeing me. What's this all about?
She's going to flip up... she doesn't have a flip phone. She's going to open up her phone and I think reasonably quickly, all things considered, get to the video in question. And
if anything, it was probably up and you were more at risk of it playing when you didn't want it to.
Yeah. So she's going to just hand it over. Just play it and you'll see what I mean. It's well, I won't tell you, yeah. And I assume the video plays like normal unless I had
video plays.
Ladi, you're the one who has to do this. If Rose touches it, she'll accidentally delete it, so...
I will not make you roll for being able to play the video.
Okay.
You play.
My
there's not
character's
even-
only pretending to be old anyway.
Yeah.
I can't relate. You play the video, and both of you see also that like everyone has like given you a bubble, and there's one person who's watching, and you see the figure as well. Whether or not you recognize this as the security guard, I'm going to leave up to what you feel your character would have taken in about your surroundings to begin with. But I want to ask, what does it feel like to see this scene again, to revisit this moment?
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. What is the scene?
Directly
So-
after we found Maddie.
Yeah, Gwen sort of recorded the whole area in the amphitheater and caught in the corner that there was one person who wasn't like, you know, either running away or panicking or anything, who was just watching. And that was the security guard that.
So we're
Gwen
kind of
recognized.
seeing the scene of Maddie, like,
Yeah. And you hear your
laying
voices.
down,
Yeah.
us talking about what the heck is this whole
Yeah.
situation. This is after Ladi punched someone, I'm pretty sure.
I think
So,
so.
I think so
Yeah.
also. And there is probably like a bit of scratching, like as her like finger probably moved over the mic and stuff, you know, like
Once in a while, a finger goes over the camera.
yeah, yeah.
Of course.
And you do hear one person like very distinctly saying, "Holy shit, did you see what that guy just did?
Yeah.
She was amazing." What is it like to see this scene again?
Horrible.
Gwen's probably not watching again, honestly.
yeah. The two of us are, though. And I think that Rose just goes very quiet.
The stakes may have gotten into supernatural territory, but they are also very personal and grounded and real. So before you get back to Melvin's room, Hazel, I'm going to have you do one more thing, because you
Oh God.
you got yourself in the middle of the occult move, a partial success.
Yeah.
And on a partial success, you put on the Crown of the Void.
Okay. What does that mean? Remind me.
Go to your character sheet, and there should be a list of questions that you can answer.
Yeah. So I have none of them checked off because I've never done it before, so I can pick any of them.
Mhm.
Not like do I thought I had to
Pick
go
any of
down
them.
in order? Any of them? Okay, cool.
For this, pick what's interesting. Also, Val gave Pablo an advantage. That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. Hi, Val. All right. Sorry. Yes. Pick something on that list on your character sheet.
I'm gonna do the chariot, which is your reason modifier is reduced by 1 and your sensitivity is increased by 1, because my sensitivity has been messing me over.
Is there a question that goes with that?
It
There should be
doesn't.
a list. Yeah, I think you're looking at your advancement list instead of the Crown of the Void list.
Oh, the crown. Okay, the crown of the queen. Is that what I should be looking at?
Crown of the Void.
No, you had it right. The chariot.
Yeah.
For the crowns of the
Okay.
void, mark the empty box. If the chariot, it's just that your reason modifier is reduced by 1 and your
Got it.
sensitivity increases by 1, and that's,
Yeah.
that makes good reflection.
I
for this
misunderstood what you said, and I thought you said they both increased by 1, and I was like,
No, it's like a swapping.
yeah, it's sort of both freaking out your mind and also attuning you to things.
Yeah.
As that happens, as you become like less in your reasonable, rational mind, you feel yourself sort of plunging very deeply into the psychedelic nature of this experience. And you look down at your feet and you see your Crocs on your feet,
Yeah.
and you stare into those Crocs, and for a moment it actually feels like you are a Croc. You become a Croc,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
widgets come through the air at you. And these widgets, each one sort of represents an important person in your life or an important moment in your life, and they pierce you. What pierces your heart the most deeply?
Ooh. How much Hazel has changed from who she is now to who she is standing in this vision.
What would symbolize that?
Oh, maybe like a widget of like a pearl. She used to wear a lot of pearls back in her wife days.
So it's a pearl that is a strange kind of iridescent. When it moves in the light, it goes from the dark of night to the brilliant light of day, the dark of night to the light of day. And you slowly, as you look at that pearl, as a croc looking at the pearl that is on it, at its heart, slowly feel that pearl gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and expands and becomes your entire visual field, until slowly the light and dark of it resolves into the shadow of the bunk above your head. Okay. And as you're sort of coming back into that place, you also get like just in the back of your mind, like the image of Amanda Delacorte going, bye.
Very cool.
Bye. And that's when everyone else makes its amalgamation room. And Hazel is awakening.
Hazel takes her Crocs off her feet and chucks them across the room. That's what you guys wake up and you're just going, ah!
I'm sorry that I ruined Crocs for Hazel.
You ruined them! What is she gonna wear that's both comfortable and stylish and customizable, Jen? There's not a big market for it, okay? It's ruined now. Jesus Christ. Okay. Hazel's just in bed in a cold sweat. Crocs are now opposite end of the room. Not making eye contact with any of you guys.
Oh, sweetie, are you okay? And like gonna immediately like pick up, because Gwen had brought a pitcher of water, right?
Yeah.
Gonna immediately pick up like a cup and pitcher of water and like move towards Hazel and like have a cup of water in hand, reach into my purse, pick out a piece of gum. Like, what do you want?
I'm a Croc.
No. What?
No,
And I
you're
want
Florida.
to say that we missed
No.
the opportunity that when you walked in the doors, when the Crocs went flying through the air. And
Yeah, no, for sure.
Exactly. Yes.
Honey, your Florida years are behind you, okay? It's all right.
No, the Crocs are they're the present, they're the here, and I am one of them. Okay.
Gwen's gonna take a look at these Crocs.
Here, have some gum.
I'm gonna
Hazel will
like
take the gum.
dote on her too and like help adjust like the pillow so she can sit up and stuff.
It's that cinnamon gum. So like there's a flavor burst in your mouth.
Whoa.
It kind of grounds you, like that sensory change.
So I
like,
roasted
really kind
it.
of brings you into the real world. Hazel, what would be the normal widgets on your Crocs? What would be some of the normal ones?
Oh my God. Hazel's got like a little splash of like a little tie-dye splatter. She's got a little widget that kind of looks like her truck. She's got a little trowel, like the little gardening tools. She's got one, you know how those multi-hole widgets? She's got one made, like custom made, that says the name of our group, which I'm blanking on in the moment, but she's got Murder Mavens. Yeah,
Okay.
as like a giant widget. And then a couple butterflies, a couple mushrooms.
Love it. How familiar with these would Gwen be? Like how interested has Gwen been in Hazel's widgets?
I mean, they're cute, right?
Thank you so much.
I think Hazel absolutely, I can't imagine she wouldn't have shown it off, especially when she, so like.
So there are two
She's a
widgets
sure.
that she never showed off to you, that stand out to you. On one Croc is a snake widget. And on the other is a really weird widget because it kind of looks like it should be like a brooch. And it's a pearl surrounded by like molded, like little like gold looking kind of a setting, like a big sort of setting.
The 6 vestiges of power. From all over the Empire. I can't believe it. How long did it take you to collect these?
Crossover, D&D crossover.
Does it look like costume jewelry, or does it look like real jewel? Like, I'm not gonna put the
real.
foot pearl into my mouth to see if it's real.
No, it looks real. It just looks a little weird. Like it's
Okay.
a little too shiny to have on your foot. Just looks weird. And the snake just stands out because it's not cartoonish or anything. It's like a,
yeah.
painted on realistic snake.
There's a brief moment of like scanning back over like the artist's alleys and like the booths that they walked through earlier to see if there were like, but like, let's be clear, Gwen likes how much Hazel likes the Crocs, does not like, she probably has a pair for gardening maybe, but like that's it. Like they stay in the mudroom or on the back porch. No one ever sees them. So unless I saw, like, unless something tickles my memory about, like, someone selling widgets like that, I'm gonna think maybe just, new and I didn't remember them.
Not necessarily remarkable.
Hazel, do you want your Crocs back on? Or
No.
okay.
I'm good.
Are there like Melvin shoes around? Like just a ratty pair of like Converse or
I feel like Vans.
This man has to have
yeah.
fuzzy slippers.
Huh?
This man does a lot of drugs. He's got to have fuzzy slippers.
Yes. There are fuzzy slippers.
Hell yeah.
They're rabbit slippers, but like they're so old that one of the ears kind of hangs at a funny angle.
Oh no!
Perfect.
Jen!
I am going to give them a cursory look to be sure that there is nothing stashed inside, I guess.
One little bag of weed just comes sort of like falling out, but it's just one.
Yeah.
It's in the ear. That's why the ear's like that. It's one of your secret spots.
God,
I will
what a clever guy.
hold it awkwardly and like just set it maybe on like a nightstand or something. Like, okay, here, and she'll go to put them on Hazel's feet. These are better. These'll take care of you.
Oh God, they're so fuzzy.
Yeah,
Oh God.
they're
Oh,
good
God.
for what ails you. And like awkwardly pats your ankle. Because not sure what was wrong with the Crocs, so like not sure if the bunnies are going to be much better, but okay, yeah, just deep breath.
Okay, I don't know what y'all got up to, but you made a mistake, because I saw some shit, and I think I know things, kind of, I don't know, I feel like I know things. You all wasted your fucking time. I'm sorry. You should have, okay, I gotta, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Small
I'm gonna
sips.
pick up the Crocs.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put them in my bag so that they come with us.
God damn it.
Amazing. Okay, so I had a dream. Amanda Delacour was there, and also Maddie was there, and I think, I don't know, we're still noodling. I'm not entirely sure what it means, but I think, okay, she like, she picks someone, whoever's the closest to her, which is probably Rose, because Rose is like feeding her stuff. She looks like deranged, like into your eyes.
Gwen's pulling out her
Like,
phone again to try and just
the side of
record
your head.
whatever's about to happen,
Good call.
just for future reference.
Okay. Rose, walk with me for a second, okay? Like, not in real life.
I
can't
get
see.
to stand up.
No, I mean mentally, okay?
Right.
I think something or someone that tried to kill Amanda Delacour in one of her books, there's something like that. They came after Maddie. We're still noodling. Still not sure, but like, think. We gotta sit here tonight and reread everything because there's a connection that we're missing, and I know it's there.
Okay. This is the most fun plan that we've gotten up to since the beginning of MurderCon.
Hazel,
Reading a bunch of books.
True.
was Amanda Delacour's books contained of Evelyn Sanchez? Because Evelyn Sanchez just tried to harm us.
Possibly eat Rose.
Hazel lies back down. I don't know. What is that? What do you mean?
She's been poisoning people, I think. Poisoned me. I had, maybe a heart attack?
Oh,
maybe
God.
an aneurysm?
Hazel
I still need a doctor.
Hazel crawls under the covers and rolls over. Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
No, but she's better. Look, Rose, look. The colors
I
come back
can't
to her
handle
cheek.
it. No. No, thank you.
Heart attacks are different for women. I can survive mine.
Also strokes, because we also maybe had a group stroke. Nope.
I don't know if it was a stroke.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think we had a group stroke.
Don't know about that.
Like...
Because those glasses smell bad, and it's probably because they came from her upper intestines.
All right. I need everyone. Everyone's up here, and I know I too was just up here. But
it's over now.
No more of that shit. Everyone's down. Let's all. You can come. You can cuddle. Come to bed. We're gonna just.
Okay.
It's fine.
I just curl up
Nothing's
next
happening.
to you.
Okay, we do a little.
I'm spoon you, hold you up.
Yep. This is nice.
okay. So I'm gonna call this a cozy move.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And this is the last thing we'll do before we go to break. Okay.
Cute.
So when you have an intimate moment with another maiden while one of you is engaged in your cozy activity, and we'll call cuddling cozy activity for sure. Choose two from below. It says if it's your cozy activity, otherwise choose one, but each one of you gets to choose one, I think.
Okay.
1, you may ask the other player a question about their maven, which they must answer truthfully and completely.
Ooh.
2, the other maven agrees on a particular course of action or give them a condition if they refuse.
Wait,
3,
say that one again.
You get them to do something or they get a condition.
Okay.
3, clear an appropriate condition, which can be chosen twice. So each one of you choose one of those 3.
What about the alternative? Because I feel like that one specifically applies to what's happening around this cozy activity. Are we going to get that one?
What is the alternative?
What do you mean alternative?
So on my reference sheet for the moves,
I see.
The alternative.
The next page, yeah.
Yeah.
Stumble on a clue relevant to an active mystery.
Because I feel like that we were specifically kind of doing that.
Well, each one of you gets to pick one, so you can pick that one if you want.
Okay. I dropped the options in our little Discord, by the way.
So who picks what?
So all 4 of us get to pick one.
Yeah, each one of you gets to pick one. So there will be 4 chosen, one by each person.
I think Gwen would like to know if Hazel because sometimes, when we're sleeping or whatever, our mind kind of connects some dots that we might not come up with in our waking life. Like, it stands to reason that doing some mind altering things might also present things in a new light, even if it does scar us from wearing our footwear. Has this sort of thing happened before, where you have had some sort of non-waking world epiphany, or feel like you've gotten a message, maybe?
No. Well, I'm not like this. Normally it's real chill. Last time I got the epiphany about Crocs, that they were actually really cool, and I saw some kids wearing them and they were cool, and then I woke up and I went out and I bought some Crocs. That was
right, you're so great. I'm so glad.
So this is like a full circle
Such a
situation.
perfect circle.
Awesome. I would also say you might be able to read in Hazel's answer the sadness that she couldn't get that kind of insight when her husband passed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's normally just real nice. And I see fun colors. And, you know, sometimes I come out of it with a new hobby I want to do, but that's about it. I've never had anything like this before.
Gwen is going to sit quietly, just kind of absent-mindedly patting your ankle as they try and parse out the, like, important parts of that from the, like, why does it always focus around Crocs? Like, Crocs are not the hidden meaning here, but there is probably something important
What
here.
you think?
Hashtag not sponsored by Crocs.
All right. Next person. Who's next?
Hazel is gonna kind of turn around to Rose and is gonna say, do you really think there's a normal explanation for all of this? Like, do you really think that?
You are
Yeah, what
required
do you
to
mean?
answer this truthfully.
Like,
What do you-
like
you just
is-
had a drug trip that allowed you to
no, like what
notice
happened?
things in your life, so you came to more conclusion than normal. That's the science papers I've been told
No,
about.
I mean,
found it.
I'm not talking about the trip. I'm talking about like Maddie and this. Everything has felt weird since we got here, and I haven't even heard everything that happened to you guys. Is like, do we think that everything behind this, like, it's gonna be a normal? There's an answer, that a normal answer, or do we think there's a weird answer?
Oh, well, it's got humans in it, so it's gonna be weird. Humans do weird shit all the time.
And Evie, I will say that it specifically says answered truthfully and completely.
Okay. So then I think I need to clarify what Hazel's asking
Sure.
for. Is Hazel asking for, does Rose think it's a normal in regards to what we've experienced in the specifics? Or is Hazel asking if Rose thinks we're going to find the conclusion of why this stuff is happening? What's going on at the, like, mastermind level, if that's going to be weird? Like, which part? Is it the process or is it the end point?
It's
asking
that's
about.
a very good clarifying. I think the end. I think Hazel knows everything that has happened is weird. She kind of wants to know at the end. Is it all like? Is it like? Are we gonna have the Scooby-Doo mask that we pull off someone? Like, does Rose really think that, like? Because Rose has been the one rationalizing everything along the way, and she wants to know, does Rose believe that at the end of this, like, the explanation for everything, or what we're going to find at the end, is going to be normal, or is it going to be supernatural weird? Like, what does Rose actually think?
So because this is still kind of new to her, I think that her truthful answer is that, like, well, it's gonna be weird to some degree because people are weird, and humans always do things that don't make sense in many different contexts. But it's, you know, the world, there are so many more things people can do with, like, cell phones and technology nowadays. So I don't really think I'm gonna understand the entirety of the outcome, but the cops will be able to put it together properly. They're the ones trained for this. So I think that in the earnestness of it, Rose is still being like, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to say this is a bear. And when the sun comes up, it's going to be a bear. I cannot recognize the kind of bear because polar bears and grizzlies are having babies and they look wonky, but it's a bear. So that's like
Bears and
where Rose
grizzlies
is.
living together.
Mhm, mhm,
Love it.
mhm, mhm.
That's where
Wait.
Rose is. And there's but you can tell there's a slight desperate cling to it of maybe that bear is a bit of a werebear. Who knows? And there's like a maybe it turns into a polar bear and a grizzly every other night. Who knows? Like
Yes.
something weird is definitely going on here, and there's a creep to it. But she is kind of desperately clinging to this idea of, like, the world functions at a level that doesn't always make sense to me anymore. And The people are trained to be able to deal with that. I'm not necessarily trained to deal with that. And humans are weirdos. So
then you catch the fragility of that response.
Yes.
That, like if you
Yeah.
poke too hard, Hazel, you can break through that. What does Lady do out of these questions?
I think that a lady spends a lot of time just kind of like twiddling his thumbs and just like looking over at Hazel and then looking back down and then looking back up. And he goes, okay, I have a question for you. Do you trust me?
Wait, sorry, who are you asking?
yeah.
For you, Hazel.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I have a plan.
Oh God.
It's not really a plan, it's just violence. We need to... There's this... Jessica, I think was her name. I spoke to her on the phone. She didn't really buy that I was the voicemail machine. So we are going to need to
Jessica?
get ready to fight her.
Why are we fighting Jessica?
We should probably take this from the top, but basically I hit Evelyn with the chicken.
Yeah, in our cozy cuddle moment, can we
We-
properly
You trade all
explain
that,
everything
yeah.
to
You
Hazel?
trade that
Cool.
information. If any information you want to have traded in this scene, you can have traded.
Yeah, that way
Um,
everybody's properly caught up on all of our things, so we don't have to keep
Yeah.
doing the like keep track thing. Everybody knows all the things now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pause this part because I want us to get a break. But I'm gonna tell you something that happens at the end of this, and then Lady will finish your move, and then Evie will get Rose will get her move.
Okay.
Sometime in the middle of this break, you, Lady, get a buzz on your cell phone, and there's another voicemail.
Great.
And when you listen to the voicemail, all you hear is like rumbling, like deep earth rumbling.
Mhm.
And as you sort of the voicemail ends, you can swear for a second that you feel deep earth rumbling, like the earth is shaking beneath you. And that's where we'll go to break.
Yay!
Yay!
See you in a few minutes. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Hi, and welcome back.
That was perfect.
That was so good.
Everybody. I'm so happy to be back. I'm excited to see what else comes from our cuddle pile. The last we had, I'm going to go back to that voicemail when we're done. I just wanted to give us a fun sort of place to be when we went to break. But Lady, shoot, remind me, you were talking, what was the question that you chose?
The
Lady?
question that I chose to ask Hazel, or
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. The
Which-
cozy move.
I also wondered because you were basically doing the do what I'm asking you to do move, right?
Yes, yeah.
right? So, right.
Are you
so
asking that
mechanically?
for
Mechanically, I
who?
chose two things. I chose the first two options. I chose ask the player question. Oh no, okay,
You
I
only get
misunderstood.
one.
I thought it was do you trust me is what I meant to do here.
So the question,
Sorry, I've
what you-
activated.
And then you were
my
telling me
screen
we needed
reader.
to get violent. That's what I remember.
Yeah. So like here are the two options from what you did. One is to
Sorry,
get
you're
a
gonna have to stop for a
truthful-
second. The screen reader is going, and it needs to stop.
Okay,
I
tell me when-
apologize.
Oh, on your computer?
Yeah.
No worries.
That's a nightmare.
All right, deactivated. As you were
Okay.
saying.
So you have two choices with what you did. One is getting a full and truthful answer from Hazel about how much she trusts you.
Mhm.
And the other is convincing Hazel to be ready to do violence.
Can I ask
Pure duality.
before Ladi makes that decision? If Ladi says that what they are going to do is to ask for the other maven to agree on a particular course of action, aka violence, or give a condition if they refuse, would that be allowed for Ladi to apply that to the whole group? That we all need to agree to do this violence together because it's a bit
just
of a
one
group
person.
thing?
It's just one person.
Okay.
Just one
Right.
because I'm making everybody else choose one person. So it's only fair Lady also has to choose one person.
Okay, I just thought it might be a fun thing for the group to be like, yeah, we're all gonna go.
We're all gonna choose
someone
violence.
in the face, like.
Choose
Still get there.
violence.
You
So
can still
weird.
get there. You can 100% still get there. All right. So which of the two are you gonna pick?
Is that for Riz?
No,
Ladi.
that's for Ladi. Yeah, we're gonna do Rose's last.
So I chose the first two options.
You only get one.
I thought it was
This
two.
isn't
Oh, you
working-
do choose.
This
That's-
isn't working like a normal.
I
cozy
see. Okay.
Because I'm
My
giving you
bad.
all because it's not anybody's
Sure.
actual cozy activity.
Yeah, this is
you
what I
all
get for
one.
skimming. Okay. I think. Well, the other one's gonna be fluff then, and I think the cozy move mechanically. I'm gonna ask Hazel if she trusts me, and I'm going to like reach out my hand in front of her hand.
Yeah, I do.
And I just kind of like take her hands and just give a little squeeze. And then I'm like, we have to do violence now.
Incredible.
Awesome.
Knock it in.
Hazel is gonna squeeze your hands back.
Mm-hmm.
Hazel's gonna look dead in the eyes. Say, I'm gonna be so real with you right now. I have understood like 10% of what I've been caught up on, but I am okay to do violence with you.
Incredible.
Great.
Let's go to Rose.
I think Lady gives a little smile and then just
Yay.
like very awkwardly like turns to look away, blushes a little bit.
Perfect.
Ooh, I love it. Oh my goodness. Though do remember, Lady, that Hazel's thirsty.
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
Okay, Rose, what do you want to do? Which question?
Okay. Oh, what is happening? I'm starting to disappear. Okay. So Rose is in this weird place mentally. She's desperate for everything to make sense. And so her brain is just going through this. This might be a little surprising because I imagine that Rose is the one that seems to like pay attention the least at our book club meetings, seems to be the one that like generally doesn't provide a lot of feedback. She's usually feeding people. A quip in here and there. Clearly has read the book, but usually doesn't seem like deeply invested in the mystery. And here in this moment, Rose is just going through everything in her head in this desperate attempt to make everything make sense in a way that is fine in the world. Not that it can be, because Maddie's gone. 2 of her friends are poisoned. They can't get 911. But from what I think we understand so far is that when Maddie got the nitroglycerin lanyard, that was originally intended for Robin Matterson.
Yep.
And that the food, which the Concord had been weird about, is where some of this poisoning nitroglycerin situation has been disseminated to others. And they were doing it in a very like controlled way, like they were trying to time something or something. We'd found some evidence about Evelyn Sanchez being part of a snake cult, and then Evelyn attacked Rose, and Rose had that constricting, kind of suffocating sensation. I think there was something else snaky she did that I can't remember in that fight too. I don't remember though. And then she coughed up. Then when she was dead, she had the like unhinged jaw and coughed up Brandon's glasses. Not that Rose knows exactly
And she's
what that's about.
unconscious. Just so you all haven't murdered anyone. She's unconscious.
Right, she's unconscious. That's right. We also got in a separate vision that all the cons are currently locked down because Rose was unable to get a phone call out to 911 and had an understanding that it was like one chance to be able to do it, kind of fucked it up, and now that's not available anymore. And that this is happening to all of Concour's cons that are happening right now. Like, this is a multi-location situation. And that, oh, nope, just lost my notes. Okay. And that as a result of kind of what's going on our side, Jessica, who's the VP of Concour, is on their way here. Now there is still another person here who is a weirdo, which is the security guard, who just watched everything happen. And as Rose is trying to put all of this together and going through this in her head, what I want to use for my cozy activity is to get a clue that will help to like connect some of the dots. I think that if I can direct the clue to some degree, I would like it to be, why are these people getting nitroglycerin poisoned? Like, why is this happening? Like, why did Maddie end up nitroglycerin poisoned? Why did Susie and Linda end up nitroglycerin poisoned? It obviously seems like the timing was wrong, but like, what's the purpose in doing this? What is sort of like happening there for this to be being done?
There are 3 pieces of that answer that I'm gonna put together for you, and you've got all the jigsaw pieces, but haven't had a chance to connect them, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I say 3 right away so that my brain doesn't so that if I don't answer all 3, you can be like, there was a third. Okay.
Yes.
So the first thing that comes to mind is that you've actually heard the term mad honey before.
Oh.
Mad honey. You think honey, hallucinations, honey, lower blood pressure, mad honey, which, by the way, y'all, is a real thing. And it's honey that is, you know how there's like clover honey and it depends on where the bees go. There's a particular kind of flower, the name of which I've completely forgotten, that if a bee is harvesting from there in a high enough concentration, can turn honey both into something that's a little bit of a hallucinogen and also something that can affect your blood pressure.
Okay.
And honey showed up all these places. Hasn't,
Yes.
And there was nitroglycerin on the thing. Honey alone has not been enough to kill anybody.
Right. Then honey was what showed up with Susie and Linda's situation, but it mimicked what the nitroglycerin situation was doing with the lowered blood pressure.
So what you remember there is that you went to the VIP reception at the very beginning, like you all kind of snuck in on the basis of that one lanyard, and they were serving honey there. So a combination of 2 substances that lower your blood pressure has a high chance of lowering it so much that it could cause death.
Got it.
Those are 2 clues. The third one I'll give you, with that tray of honey chicken that has gotten distributed to everybody in the cafeteria. Brandon only started wanting to bring that out to serve when you showed up.
Right. That's what the fight was.
That's what the fight was. Brandon had reason to think that you travel as a group, and you had already been warned that you were in danger because you knew too much. So it's possible that your arrival and the way that the both of you, Gwen and Rose, sort of went into that kitchen at that moment prevented all of you from being attacked using the same method. And those are your clues.
Okay. I think that Rose will share that and be like, the nitroglycerin was on the lanyard, but you don't feed nitroglycerin to people. But Susie and Linda, as well as everybody in the cafeteria, also had that problem with their blood pressure. And I had originally suspected it to also be nitroglycerin because it matched. And quite frankly, you know, I'm listening to Thomas every night talk about all the pharmacy stuff he's doing. It just made sense that it was drugs. But now that I'm thinking about it, when Calvin and I had the restaurant, he got really into beekeeping. And one of the things that he got paranoid about for a couple of years there was this thing where the honey would be not tainted, but like different. And it lowers your blood pressure. And the honey was in the chicken. And the honey was in the cornbread. And if you combine stuff, Thomas is always talking about how you don't combine meds. You have to know things in the person's background because the meds can interact with stuff. This might be an intentional medical interaction to harm people in a way that looks surreptitious. Why are they mad at us?
So one last piece that I'll give you is clearly those lanyards went to the wrong people. Who switched the lanyards is the question that comes to your mind as you share these information.
Yeah, so because I think that's where Rose is like, she's like, so I'd originally assumed that maybe somebody was targeting Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sorry, had a moment. But the chicken came out like it was kind of targeting us. And if they are targeting us, then somebody was switching lanyards. Does the security guard in the booth with the lanyards in the beginning, was he there? Does anybody remember?
The security guard was at the front. He kind of gave a look remember when all of you sort of pressed your way through the crowd? Right. You remember the security guard being irritated and sort of trying to stop you, but then saw that you were a bunch of old people and didn't want to look bad, and everybody was recording, so like backed off.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely something else here. We need to find out. There is something intentional here. We need to figure out what is happening. Because we're not going to get help. We're cut off.
And that's when you get your voicemail, lady.
Take it out, just like quietly listen. Everyone just like sees my like face journey of like confusion and concern. And I put the phone down and I'm just like, so I get these anonymous tips sometimes, but they've gotten much less comprehensible. Listen to this. And I play the just like weird rumbling sound.
I'd like all of you to roll with sensitivity, please.
Ha-cha-cha-cha. That's a 10.
Ooh, nice.
I got a 6.
You're not having a great roll.
No, and that's only a 6 because I changed my modifier. It would have been a 5 if I still had that -1. It's been a day. It's been not good.
I got a 3.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
10.
Okay.
Oh, we are just
You've
on
canceled
two very
each other
different.
out. Okay, so 2 things. One, all of you hear the rumbling, and you feel rumbling beneath your feet. Gwen and Ladi, you feel these little tremors, and you have the sense of them getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but that there is a lot of room for them to get even bigger, that they're very subtle right now, that you feel them as well as hearing them. And I think because we had 2 10s, despite the other 2 failures, the occult move that you can do now is to listen to ladies' voicemails and get a sense of what is happening in the like occult or like spiritual realm in your environment or around those voicemails.
And that's an occult move we would roll for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I take out like entire tall candles with like sent them wick down them and stuff. And I take out like a really long lighter to be able to get in there. The only one that I have is a little bit too cool for my character, I think. But it says Muerta la Negra. It's sort of like death to ice kind of thing. But I pull out one of those, and I think I'm going to make my occult move.
All right.
Actually, I think I'm going to help someone else with it. Who else is making it?
Well, we've already done the occult roll. Do you want to try to up somebody else's result?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you can help either Hazel or roll. Hazel got a 6. Who got a 6?
I got
Okay,
a 6.
So you can help Hazel get up to a 7.
Wait. Well, let me try to understand. I thought that you were saying that the move we can make now is to try and listen to the voicemails.
Yes. Oh, yes. No, you're right. So now
you
you're,
want-
in addition to that, making your own occult move. Gotcha.
For like
Yeah.
all the previous voicemails and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think you can, with your own occult move, help somebody else. You have to be doing it for yourself.
All right. I'm just going to do it then. What's the stat I
Roll
roll
with
with?
sensitivity.
Sensitivity? Okay. Oh, that's fun. I have no bonus
So-
to it.
So, this normally, so we're making a move, so we would normally establish what a 10 plus does, what a 7 to 9
Yes.
does, and what a 6 negative does. So what would it do for being able to like listen? Does a 10 plus give us a new clue, or?
A 10
Okay.
plus, you can ask a question related to the voicemails, and I will answer honestly and truthfully and completely. Does that make sense to everybody else?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Obviously within the limits of what's fun, but yeah, and a 7, I think you get to ask the question. I will give you a little bit less, and you mark the crown of the void.
Cool. I got a 7.
Okay. So what's your question? What are you listening to, and what do you want to discern from it?
I think what I want to discern from this is just like what. Like, I think that she's most worried about agency. Like, I feel like she has just enough information to be like, oh my god, like we're mega fucked, and is just trying to keep it together. She wants to know like what choices she can make here. What can she do to stop what is happening?
Which part of what's happening?
Us being cut off, sort of snake cultists poisoning people, some murders.
You feel 2 things, right? One is kind of what you said to Hazel, which is you will have an opportunity to do something using violence. That is an absolutely possible thing, right?
Love that.
The other possibility is to find people who have the same powers or the potential to have the same powers and get them on your side, which you've already started to do. Now you also need to mark the crown of the void.
Yep. I think I'm going to take pomegranate kernel. I have the condition obsessed with the void.
Of what? I can hear you.
I am obsessed with the void.
Okay. Yeah. Like, okay, Lady's getting a little too into this. Like, just brought out a candle in the middle of this conversation. Is like kind
Right.
of doing some kind of seance sort of thing. Rose, you're especially like, oh my gosh, Lady's off the deep end at this point.
Also, like, where is Val's character right now?
Right.
Like Rose is like, you don't have to replace Val. It's okay. We don't have to have a candle going all the time.
Ladi is on the way to being a witch.
It's true.
All right, what do y'all do?
Well, one of the answers that I got from this is like to connect with other powerful people. Who else is powerful? And I say this out loud to the rest of the group. Who else can we turn to for help here? The original owners of the con?
Are they still around?
Yeah,
Possibly.
They're around. They're
Okay.
probably around. You also have an in to the cult.
Daughter.
What do you mean?
That,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was also that, like, slightly delusional person from earlier.
That
But-
doesn't narrow it down.
No, I suppose it doesn't. But there was the, back in the room, I think they said they were not a dryad, something weird.
Cosplayer.
The cosplayer, yeah. Yeah. It seemed kind of odd because Amanda doesn't really have a lot of that in her books, but,
Well, I mean, other mystery books exist here too, and maybe they were doing like a Scooby-Doo thing.
it's true. That's true.
Sure.
But, they seem to know a lot about random stuff. Some of it's a little,
Yeah.
out
They
there.
said like
but
they knew the area from when they were here as a kid at camp or something, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
there's that too.
I'm really glad that you have aggressively avoided needing to be recapped on what the previous campaign was like.
I promise that you don't need to know the previous campaign in order to utilize help from Maisie.
But if you would like to check out Monster Hearts,
Hey.
Absolutely.
It's a cute time. I went and I watched it.
I'm
I
so
went and I
glad.
watched it during
Aw.
one of our off weeks, and it was a cute time.
Aw.
It was so sweet.
It's a good game.
How sweet it was.
That's hey. Do we know? Is Melvin okay? We saw him in the kitchen, and I don't know where he went.
He had been with Susie, and then he went to go. I thought he was supposed to go back to Hazel.
Oh, you're right. He was supposed to go back to Hazel.
Uh-oh, something happened to him.
Oh yeah, he got distracted. How could he?
Just standing outside of very stones.
Right, just staring at the door
Stare-
handle.
Staring at the door handle, yeah.
Or he's sitting on a snake cult altar somewhere, captured.
Oh, God.
There's only one way to find out. Schrodinger's Melvin.
Schrodinger's Melvin. That tremoring is getting louder
Oh
and
yeah, that,
louder, and now everyone here can feel it.
Let's move. Let's move.
yeah.
In an earthquake, you're supposed to stand in the doorways, I think?
This isn't an earthquake, let's go.
Bathtubs. If
Under tables.
Gwen opens the door, A, is Melvin right there staring at the doorknob, and B, is the thundering apparent?
It is definitely apparent, and people are starting to notice it. You don't see Melvin.
Okay.
Oh, God. Do I have Melvin's phone number? Would that be?
If you don't
course
have the
you have
phone number
Melvin's
of your
phone number.
drug dealer, I
Okay.
feel like the
I'm gonna call Melvin. Because, maybe he's fine. And we can deal with other things.
Starting to imagine how Hazel would interact with him if he didn't have his number. just like
I hotmailed him.
My assumption was
with a
pager. Yeah.
You show up at his house every so often, just knocking. Like, hey.
You know what? Melvin would be down with that. I think that would actually probably work. It just goes to voicemail.
Hazel looks down at her fuzzy rabbit slippers that she's now wearing, and is like, "Well, we gotta. I'm gonna go find Melvin."
You have to be the Melvin now.
Why don't we check in the kitchen? Because Melvin and I were doing stuff in the kitchen last I knew.
Okay,
maybe
but
he went back.
We all gotta stick together, right? Especially with this this rumbling, like. And if phones aren't working, if we split up, no guarantee we can get back together.
Yeah, no splitting up anymore.
If we gotta hold hands, we hold hands. But let's just.
We can hold hands.
All right.
I love that.
I gotta
grabs your hand.
I gotta confess that when we were doing our cozy activity, I was halfway expecting somebody to be like, "Rose, you need to promise to not fucking separate from us again, or I've got to give you a condition."
Everybody especially hold Rose's
Oh, that
hand.
would have been smart.
Yeah.
Lone wolf, something like that.
Something. Missing in action.
So are you all rush out of Melvin's room and across the field holding hands?
Yes. 100%.
As the ground begins to shake harder and harder and harder and harder, and people start reacting to the shaking of the ground and looking around, and this is Indiana, so nobody knows what the hell to do in an earthquake. And lady, you know that this isn't actually an earthquake. And when you get to the middle of the field, you see Melvin walking in the middle of the field looking stoned as hell. Stoned off his ass.
Good.
Okay, just where we left him.
And you have a sense of relief until all of a sudden the ground behind him bursts open.
No!
And flooding out of the ground, you see a blonde woman, skinny, wearing a business, like that kind of skinny of you obsess about this way too much. You can just see the points of her cheekbones, and her chin is really pointy, and she looks tired and angry. And as she bursts out of the ground, at first
how giant is she?
Well, she looks like just a normal person at first.
Okay.
At first. And at first it's just oh, this person, what? But then she keeps shooting up into the air, and you notice that this person doesn't have legs. What this person has is a snake body. And she shoots so far up in the air and then bends down and looks at everybody and goes, "Where are the troublemakers?" We could break here if we want, but we also have a half hour. So if you want the cliffhanger. Otherwise, we can keep going because who cares?
I'm good to keep going.
It's such a good
It's
good
really good,
cliffhanger,
though.
It is a great cliffhanger, but think of this. Jen has never once failed to give us an amazing cliffhanger. So if we go for another 30 minutes, we're going to get another great cliffhanger.
I'll find you another one. Melvin has tumbled onto his hands and knees. He seems uninjured, but is now, along with all of you, in the line of sight of this person who you imagine is probably Jessica. She looks at all of you and starts to
Rose
arc
is on the
down.
Rose,
Yeah,
Rose is and where are the troublemakers? She's just on the ground. She's just on the ground.
As she arcs down closer and closer to you, her mouth gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you see it open beyond where a mouth should. And beyond with sharp fangs. And she is headed toward Melvin.
Okay.
I outrun Melvin.
Yeah, it runs to Melvin.
All right.
As a group, I'll
still holding
Actually, I think Lady has done enough weed over the course of her life to be able to say, Melvin, you're faster than you think you are. Just start running.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I love it. Let's make that. We're gonna do 2 simultaneous moves because I think everybody's doing 2 things at once. One is to get Melvin to run, and the other is to go swoop up Melvin. Yeah. So like first, let's talk, Lady. Why don't you make a night move, and this would be with presence to be able to cut through the terror.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't pick sort of any strong stats, just kind of distributed everywhere. That's fine. That's a 10 though.
That's a 10.
Woo!
Nice.
Good job.
All right. What does Melvin do upon hearing your voice?
I think just panic run, probably away from me.
Yeah, Melvin like at first is like crawl running, and then like as he gains momentum is able to sort of like stand up and like shoot past all of you. And like as he does, there's a little bit of a like, sorry, and he keeps running. He knows he's ditching everybody. Everybody has scattered. There are people you can kind of in your peripheral see are like hiding in the like the climbing tower, like has like an interior where you can, you know, take stairs up to the top and you can see people sort of peeking out of that. Although it's starting to like shake. You actually saw one person like zip line away. People are like, anyone who's left in the area is running to take shelter now. There's people on the porch of the lodge who are sort of like mesmerized by what they're seeing and not taking as much shelter, but like standing on the porch watching. And this snake has grown to the size of like 3 stories and then arched over at all of you. And you have gotten rid of their target, but okay, Gwen.
To buy us a little time, did we use our gold crown move for this session?
You have extra ones.
Yes,
Yeah, we still have the
2.
2. Okay. I feel like this would have to be a gold crown move because.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear how you make this a gold.
So.
What did Amanda Delacour do?
Exactly. Well, and this is a 2-part because I know we can use our cozy little place items to like give us advantage, and I realize I'm losing that advantage, but we also only have 2 sessions, so I want to just be like staring at that, trying to comprehend this thing. Like Gwen is in that this whole time has been in that fuzzy place between like, yeah, trying to rationalize like, oh, it's a gas break or whatever, you know, this is just gas line, whatever. But there's also the, okay, but what if it isn't? You're going to be in a lot of trouble. So she's digging in her bag for anything and everything that might help, and her hand comes into contact with her stonewall brick. And what I would like to do is, just like Amanda Delacour did in book 13, the Mangrove Murders. I'm sorry, Amanda Delacour and the Mangrove Murders. Kind of like a cartoon. You know, when like a character sticks like a stick in between like an alligator's jaws.
Yes.
So I'm sure it'll just like slow her down maybe a little bit, especially if she's like 3 stories tall. But I kind of just want to chuck this brick into her mouth, and bust a tooth or make her think twice while we kind of figure out our plan. Because hey, are we going? Are we something?
She had arched down, so you're able to get it like you have to like put your hand pretty much in her jaw.
Yeah, I'm willing to risk that.
But you're able to do it, and it clamps down on this, and it starts to shrink a little bit, which kind of makes it even worse. Like it's sort of closing and shrinking back into her face. And right now she is distracted by the pain of that and distracted trying to get it out of her mouth. You see her sort of flailing.
Mm-hmm.
And you also see a tooth fall out. And this person, who is clearly extremely obsessed with appearance, is going to remember who made her lose a tooth.
You have a gap between your two front teeth.
All right, but right now, like, she is like distracted because she's trying to stop her mouth from closing around it
Right.
and like splitting her head open.
Right.
Yeah. And,
If
like,
Gwen
pulling
wasn't
her
like
mouth.
stressed out, there would be a very snappy comeback about, being in TV and, you already had veneers anyway. It doesn't matter. So, but mostly just the panicked, like, are we going? Do we have a snake person plan?
No, we don't have a snake person plan. Let's go to Maisie.
Good. Perfect. Yes.
Before we run to Maisie, are these teeth regular human teeth or are they snake fangs?
I'm sorry, y'all. Both.
Can I
Awesome.
pick up the tooth then?
Yeah, it's a
Cool.
human tooth that fell out. So you
Okay.
pick up a human tooth.
You gotta put it.
And
in
Oh,
it
what
was-
I've always
It
wanted.
was like, it was so big, it was like extended to fit the size of that jaw, but
Mhm.
as it fell, it got smaller and smaller, but it just
Got
happened to fall.
it.
You saw where it fell, so you could scoop it up.
Gotta put it in your purse.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Got it. Yeah.
Got a whole chicken that.
Honestly, we should have a good system of like different types of things go in different people's purses, just to
Yeah.
try and at least maintain some
Like Stardew Valley
semblance.
Absolutely.
chests, like anything that's
Everything-
got like
Yep.
raw
Yep.
materials in this one,
Yes.
body parts in this one.
Absolutely.
All right, I have a tooth in my purse now. Great, that's all I wanted.
Anything
Now we can
gross
go.
goes in mine.
Let's run to Maisie. And I imagine we're power walking. We're really not going
Oh,
that
yeah.
fast.
Yeah. Let me check really quick because I want to have a move here. Okay, I just got two PBTAs like mixed up in my head, so forgive me. I like I have GM'd 4 different systems in a week. So yeah. Go ahead and actually I think I want the night move. And pick somebody to roll it. Let's have one person roll to see if you can like help carry the group over to like keep in mind where Maisie is and keep the group together to get over to Maisie. I would say that's rolling with, you can either roll with presence or you can roll with vitality.
I have a 1 in vitality.
I keep picking stats that like people don't have a lot.
I mean, I have a 1 in presence, but it makes no canonical sense for Hazel to be like taking the charge here.
It makes sense for Rose to be like, I can tune this out.
Yeah.
I also have a 2 in composure. That's
Mhm.
working
Roll with
overtime
composure,
right
roll
now.
with composure, roll with composure.
The composure's working overtime right now.
Yep,
And I got a 1 in vitality because I am still a farmer. Okay. Okay. So that comes to an 8.
An 8. Okay.
A 9. Sorry. But still, same.
Same. Yeah. Just a second. I skipped myself into a different part of the manual. All right. You are able to rush your way into the lodge and past people and get down to where you last saw Maisie. Let me think for a second. Complication or a cost?
I mean, I imagine that we probably dragged the snake with us.
No, I
Okay.
think you're all just really friggin' winded
Mhm.
by the time you get down there.
Yeah.
And it's
For
gonna
sure.
take a while before any of you can do anything physical without
Ugh.
really harming yourself,
Makes sense.
right? So you get down into the rec room, and you see the mermaid statue attached to the wall. And what do you do to try to awaken Maisie? Reawaken Maisie.
I think Rose just shouts, Maisie, are you in this room? You said you'd be around. And is just looking.
You look and you see the statue. It sort of like echoes around. There's no cosplayer who walks out.
Yeah. Just looking for a person.
Mhm. This would probably be an occult room for whoever has a specific thing you'd want to do to try to invoke the presence of a gargoyle.
Where canonically is Val's character, by the way?
I'm kind of doing the thing where I'm just letting it float, like
Yeah,
just
okay,
sort
that's
of
fine.
like a ghost following the group, because I couldn't think on the fly
That's
of like
totally
how
fine.
I wanted to have
Got
it.
distracted.
Which I feel, Val, I'm really sorry. I should have like come up with a story related thing about why you're gone, but right, you're just Jaegered into the rec room.
Sylvie's in another plane right now, so it's got to be us. I can do it, but I feel like
I mean, it would be really, really funny if Gwen or I did it because we probably still have the -1s on our sensitivity.
On the other hand,
One.
Hazel has just had an experience of being very in touch.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
what I was just
Way.
gonna ask. Do we in character feel sort of the connection between Maddie and Maisie at all? Like, do we sort of no? Okay.
I mean,
No.
you could
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. I have a hard time separating the two because like
no, you could just take another another
Another mushroom.
another mushroom right now.
Just a little hit.
just a little hit. Hey, in 3 hours from now, it's gonna activate.
Wait,
yeah.
It's gonna
Where's
be
Melvin?
fine. I assume he
Melvin
ran
ran
off
the other
to
direction.
yeah.
okay, not with us.
No,
No,
was the
not
And
other.
I
us.
left that little bag of weed on the table.
But I think
I
like,
mean,
this is an inflection point for this group. I'll put it this way, because you have gone from being a group that was interested in murders and solving murders that are totally mundane. And right now you've had like very strange things happen to you over the course of this day. Obviously, this is a moment of, do you approach that willingly? And that's what you're about to do.
I think I do, because I'm obsessed with the void now.
You are obsessed with the void. So being someone obsessed with the void,
I think
how do you try to invoke the void to help you in this moment?
I think I try to leave my mark on the statue.
Ooh. Okay, what do you do?
I think I gotta pull out like a Swiss Army knife kind of thing. And I think I like just write some poetry onto her,
Ooh.
like maybe on her side, sort of thing.
What's the poetry about?
I write. They're just salsa lyrics. They're actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, some of these songs are like pretty grim, sort of like, yeah. So I'm writing some pretty raunchy stuff on her side now that I'm thinking about it. But it's in Spanish, so most of you probably can't discern that.
So like grim, raunchy salsa lyrics.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's not hard to
Excellent.
come across.
I feel like Maisie would approve. And as you do that, as you write, you finish the last letter, and again, inflection point. You all see Lady start doing this like kind of insane sort of thing, but this is like the least insane thing that you've seen over the course of the last few hours. And as you finish the last letter, two things happen. Well, actually three. One is that's the moment where you see light start to shine through the windows of the rec room. It's like a basement rec room with those like little rectangular windows at the top, right? And it doesn't really bring a ton of light. It's kind of murky light. But for once, the light in this room is shining, and you know that the sun is rising. And you see slowly that statue, the wood turn to skin in texture, although still like with the swirls of the wood. And the mermaid step down from the wall, like a leg extend out of the fishtail and another leg extend out of the fishtail. And Maisie stands in front of you. And the last thing that happens before we'll finish up is Maisie looks at all of you and goes, "It's about damn time." That's where we'll stop.
Amazing.
And Rose watches as the second time within 30 minutes, a humanoid something more fucking manifests in front of her, and she just falls over into a chair.
Yes. Oh, poor Rose.
Oh, Rose.
Oh God.
It might be, instead of an inflection point, an implosion point.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
Those are fun too, right?
Yes. I've made Rose implode, and I've made Hazel hate Crocs.
Happens all the time.
I will never forgive you, Jen. This is a crucial.
The saddest.
character.
Okay, so that is our penultimate episode. And as a group, we'll decide when our actual last episode is going to be. And I'm so happy to be back with this group and play again. And I'm really glad we get another session together. You, as always, have made this delightful and fun. And let's go around and just say who you are and where people can see you. And we'll popcorn it, whoever wants to start.
And I just want to say, we can't get too emotional on the camera on our penultimate episode. We'll have no emotions to give next time. That's how it works.
You gotta hold on to it until
We're
it's time
gonna
to play that
keep
card.
it inside.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Pablo. I can't be found. Don't look for me. I've been having a great time because I've been playing this game with these wonderful, wonderful players and GM'd by this wonderful, wonderful GM who pretends to be older than they are. And I love making fun of them with my PC.
Awesome. Who's next?
Hi, I'm Evie. You can find me on places at Evie Story, but I'm not there because I'm not dealing with this bullshit. I'm gonna wait. But yes, this has been absolutely amazing fun, and I am super excited for Rose to just have to give it.
Yes.
She's just gonna have to give it.
Yes.
So we're gonna get it.
Awesome.
And this will be fun for everyone else to see exactly what that manifests as. I'm gonna make it all your guys' problem.
Can't wait. Next.
Sure. Hi, I'm Ray. I echoing everyone else. This is super, super fun. Thank you for putting up with Hazel's existential crisis about her footwear. I'm a board game professional. You can find me doing professional board game things on Twitter at _Raybird_. There may be some big changes coming up. I can't talk about them, but if you care about board games, you can follow me and find out about exciting changes.
Gwen/Eva.
I suppose that's me. Hi, I'm Eva. You can find me many places at Eva Serrate, or the Eva Serrate. Probably easiest just to go to beacons.ai/Eva Serrate and find my aggregated information there. I will probably let you go, Jen, and then I will take care of some channel business.
Okay. That works. I'm Jen. I am also currently off of social media and X, Twitter, like whatever. I don't know. If you want to go look at the backlog of things that I wrote on Twitter, I guess you can, from years ago. And I got an invite to Blue Sky, and I have no idea if I'm going to follow it or not. Just no clue. And I guess eventually I'll be on some social media, and I'll look out for that because I'm going to do a fundraiser in April that I have no idea how I'm going to publicize. But I will be on Graham Cracker's channel on Tuesday at 4:30, back to playing my wildfire druid who is sweet and makes honey. Coincidentally.
Sensing a theme.
Yeah,
I didn't.
perfect.
That was totally unintentional, but yes. And yeah, no, that's my stuff. Go ahead, Eva.
Excuse me. I will try and make this fairly quick. Currently, the only other kind of long-standing game that we have at the moment is Horizon's Call, every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific. But we have a lot of upcoming games. Casting announcements have not been announced yet, but you can look forward to a whole bunch of fun, cool stuff in October. We have a game of Lycantropes, a game of Humblewood starting up, one shot of Mara, Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf, Drama Llamas, a 2-shot of 10 Candles, because it's, despite what they say, very hard to get it into one regular sized session. a one-shot of Night of Fright, and a one-shot of Sunken. All of the times and dates for that, it's mostly Saturdays and Sundays, I believe. But you can find that on in our Discord or on our social medias. More on that will be posted as we get closer. But all of that
I'm
will
sorry,
be...
Did I hear actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf?
Yes.
Is that like a...
And actual Shia LaBeouf is a piece of shit. So
Yeah.
feel free to not root for him. It is a one-shot where it's basically like a slasher. Kayla will be running it, and the players are trying to escape and survive being hunted by actual cannibal in the game. Actual
That's
cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
amazing.
Yeah,
Sorry to like zoom in on that. I just like
No,
that
that's
was
so
killing me.
good.
it is based on the song by Rob Cantor, and I don't have the author at hand, but it is very like pick up and play, little prep, no prep. Yeah. Yes. So and we'll have more casting calls soon for later in the year. Theoretically, almost all those games are going to go to benefit Oceana.org. I just realized they're not on Tiltify, so I just need to like tweak how we're going to do that fundraiser. So if you would like to donate to a Tiltify fundraiser, we are still raising money for the Alzheimer's Association. And we do that even when we're not live and on screen. You can just type !donate. We're pretty close to our $500 goal, actually, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
And any rewards that are redeemed while we are offline, we will roll into the next session. So we can go out with a bang. Other than that, that's all I have. I appreciate everyone for coming out and supporting us. And yeah,
Awesome.
hanging out with our quirky, wonderful murder mavens. Oh, there's a baby. Hi, baby.
Yeah, Kitty showed up. I've been trying to get people his cute face because
Yeah.
he's not. He just wants to snuggle, so his face is
Yeah.
hard to show.
Perfect.
I prefer the snuggles to
Yeah.
you to go, oh no, look, he's on.
He's got such a cute face. Though. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Oh.
Aw.
Perfect.
The baby.
He's camera shy.
That's okay. Love him up for us. Take care, everyone. We will be back online Saturday, as I said, at 3 p.m. for Horizon's Call. And keep your eye on socials and in the Discord for the finale, as we all take a bow, metaphorically speaking. Bye, y'all.
Bye.